Welcome back to Steven&Chaddy. So let's jump straight into it. I hope y'all day was good, but let's get into this. You want to read the title, Daddy?
Sure. Being childless is not a bad thing, and here's why.
So first, let's define the choice itself. Childlessness. It's a personal decision that does not, or should I say should not, diminish one's value or contributions to society. So you're probably wondering, like, why is this stigmatized? Why is this an issue?
Well, societal pressure equates fulfillment with parenthood, ignoring
Go, keep going. We ain't perfect. They know this here.
Oh yeah, I know. And ignoring individual circumstances and desires.
Don't trip. We had a busy night. Okay. He's working though. It's happening. Okay. Speaking of those societal pressures, there's many ways to fulfill things that are happening in society. Parenthood is not the only way, and that's why it's stigmatized. They want a lot of people to believe that having children is a necessity, and it's really not. It's a necessity for the system that wants to raise your children and create workers for a system that wants to continue. That's what it's really about. But let's continue on. 10 reasons why being childless should not be demonized.
As overpopulation concerns. Choosing not to have children helps conserve resources.
Definitely. I know y'all be looking at them. I don't know if we in California, so the PG&E out here. But it might be another electric company where you at. I know y'all be looking at them bills. That's amplified with kids. They like leaving on lights. They like messing with shit and doing. We got 6 of them. That is amplified 6 times in this house.
Right.
Okay? So, I mean, for us, it ain't necessarily an overpopulation issue, but people don't realize that it affects everything. You can only, depending on what state you have, California have laws where only so many people are allowed in a unit or in a house with so many bedrooms. So for the family who cannot afford to move, this could possibly put them in a homelessness. It's not just overpopulation. It's those things too. Because what if we had that example? We were in an apartment, 2-bedroom with what? We had just had
our 5th, right?
No, we just had our 6th kid, and people was complaining that she was a Miss Nobody, just bullshitting all the goddamn time, but and not happy in her own marriage, so she was trying to cause problems in mine, and as you know, a motherfucker wasn't playing it, and that's where the problem was at. She didn't like that ass got checked, and so she was complaining, which I didn't mind. Because I'm all for fire under my ass, especially when it causes me to elevate. So she wasn't nothing but a stepping stone, and I stepped right on her head and right on out that motherfucker to something better. And she's still there to this day, so let's move on. But that's the point I'm making, is they might have situations where, for us, 8 people was too much in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was too much. So, yeah. The next one, go ahead, Daddy.
We're going to focus on other contributions. That's number 2. Focus on other contributions. So many childless individuals dedicate time to careers, community, or even philanthropy.
Most of them ain't just out there not having kids. It's because they've committed themselves to something bigger than themselves. And they just don't see the room for a child. And the other thing is just, children take a lot of work.
You have people who have careers that, they've nurtured as children. You know what I mean? Like, they look at their moneymaker, their job, their profession as their baby.
Right. The government getting that tax off the kid by getting their taxes from their checks or from the businesses that they done started. Or rather from the philanthropy that they're giving to the communities. Like us, we own a nonprofit. So you can't always look at, and we homeschool our kids, that is also a nonprofit. So you can't look at just at it at face value where that person has no kids, especially if you're on these different political tips or whatever. Like, step out of that, step into real life, touch some goddamn grass, because you can't control other people's pussies and dicks. You can't. You just cannot. And that's the problem. You got a lot of people want to overreach and say, you should be having the kids, they should be having the kids. Ain't none of your goddamn business what people do with their private parts. It's none of your business. Mind your damn business. That's what it really comes down to. Let's keep going. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep going.
All right, so number 3 is foster care system. So did you know that over 400,000 children in the U.S. Foster system needs homes? So pressuring parenthood overlooks these needs.
And it don't just overlook them and sweep them under the rug. And then you filling up other issues that we're going to get into in the next point. But this is a big problem. We took in one of my younger cousins because nobody in the family wanted to get him. And he decided he wanted to leave later because it was just a little too rigid, in the sense of we was requiring your ass to show up to school and to do what you needed to do, and to be respectful of other people's spaces and beliefs and other things, and not force yourself on folks. And he didn't like that, so he left. And today he's being a doctor. He's not the same as he was then. He got his shit together. He's trying to be a doctor now. But that was a road that wasn't initially going to be. He had to really check himself. Now, you don't have people like me and my husband always present in those situations. So if you don't have people like us who saying, hey, get your shit together, most likely you already know where they're going to end up. We ain't got to really say it.
And some don't have the ambition. Let's just be real. Some that are in the system don't have the ambition to better themselves because of the trauma that they've.
Oh, yeah. Trauma is a hell of a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, as well as environmental impact.
Oh, yeah.
So just being in a situation where you have to fight hand and nail to basically survive, and it's really an unnecessary hassle, unnecessary thing. So if we can limit the amount of children that go into foster care is by having less children, or those who don't really desire children being forced out of any kind of social norm, or being forced out of a social norm to basically have children because of societal pressure, then things would be a little better. If you just allow those people to be who they are, just let them be where they want to be at.
Now, the school to prison pipeline. You okay, Dad? You okay, baby? Your nose? Okay, give me a few minutes. We're going to be done in a minute, okay? That's my baby. You waking up. Can you stop? Okay, just hold on a minute, okay? I'm coming. All right. The school to prison pipeline. See? Kid. Everybody don't want this. Just hold on, okay? Can you hold on? No? Well, okay, we'll get out. Okay, well, just hold on a minute. Okay? Hold on a minute. Here you go, help him real quick. For me. Or do you want me to do it and you sum it up?
Yeah, I think I'll do a better job summing it up.
What? See? Everybody don't want this. See, do you hear this? I ain't gonna even try to hide it from you because the shit is real. Yeah. It's very real. And we got 6 of them in the front room waiting on us like little hungry birds. It's not. Right. So we gonna have to cut this off a little earlier than expected. Okay? We're gonna end with, we're gonna go over real quick. Hey, come on. Hey, get your shit together.
Okay, so
get it together.
Number 4 was school to prison pipeline. Bringing children into an unjust system without preparation can perpetuate inequality. So that's how it ties into number 3, the foster care system. You're bringing them into an unjust system. When you decide not to take responsibility, or for those who do not desire children, have children out of societal pressure, you choose to bring them into the risk of bringing them into an unjust system without any kind of preparation, and that perpetuates inequality. Number 5 is financial stability. Raising a child costs over $250,000 per child, and not everyone can afford this responsibility. And let's be real, not every single person in the world is raising a kid on $250,000. So if they're saying that it takes, on average, $250,000,
essentials are being missed.
a lot of things are being missed, in a lot of homes. But those who decide to take on the responsibility to make do with what they have and make it work, I mean, a lot of people don't have that kind of mentality. A lot of people can't take that pressure, especially if they're focused on getting their self together, focusing on their own careers and things. Like I said earlier, the job, the career, the 9 to 5, that becomes a baby, a nurture, something that has to be nurtured by an individual in itself. So number 6 goes into freedom for self-discovery. Time and resources can be devoted to personal growth, travel, or education. A lot of people have goals and things that are already set, have things that they want to achieve before even thinking or considering having kids. Or they may say, I don't want kids at all. I have too many things that I want to accomplish in life, and I feel like children will hinder that. So you have to respect that out of people, to take that responsibility or that responsible action and decision to say, hey, I'm not going to bring another life into the world, to an unjust system, especially if I'm going to be the one that's being unjust to them, because
I can't afford it.
Right. I can't afford it. And on top of that, I have things that I want to get done and accomplish on my own.
And I think that's selfish. I think it's quite selfish when you don't consider what you don't consider how much it really costs and what it's going to require, and decide to have kids. We embarked on this together. We knew what we wanted. We wanted to have the kids early so we can live later, because we knew we was going to start nonprofits. So all that stuff we was doing, and learning how to social media market, and starting our businesses, and then deciding to settle with nonprofits, those are things we was dealing with doing ahead of time. And then we said we're going to pause, have kids. We still made money.
Yeah.
Made enough to take care of them. And then we gonna run it all back up, and that's what we doing now. We got our businesses, our nonprofits now. So I mean, you can't put all that on everybody and expect everybody to have the same view. Hell, I wanted 19 kids. I was finna I was having G Steven spread 10, okay? Because I was going for Grandma Brady status, 19 kids. I go to my great grandma. I wanted it all, okay? And I started saying, when I got to number 6, like, hold on. Maybe I might have to slow down.
Yeah, I had to be like MJ, like Michael Jordan. I had to hang it up after 6. That's it. That's all I had in me. I gave my heart and soul. That's all I got. And that leads to number 7, mental health. Not everyone has the emotional bandwidth for parenting.
You goddamn kids.
And that's okay. That is okay. And those who are mature enough to admit that, more power to them, because they're taking a responsible action by saying, hey, kids just ain't for me. And I used to be one of those kind of guys. I was like, man, I don't like kids. I honestly today still don't really like kids, but I like my kids a lot. I mean, I might have a bias there, but some kids can be little jerks. But just being real. Now the cool ones I can tolerate, but to just say I just like kids. They're just so adorable. Nah, I don't have that universal feeling towards all kids.
We tried the We actually was finna adopt my cousin. My husband was like, "Not with this shit.
Nah,
We not, cause
nah.
I'ma hurt him. It ain't gonna work." Like, and that's why you have to be considerate, especially people who's trying to press this. Oh, the child being childless is a threat. It's not a threat. The only reason it's a threat is because it is a threat to the system that they have laid in place. Go to school, work, or go to school, graduate, get a job, work till you die. It's a system. And then they want you to perpetuate that and feed that for them. And in the words of Kendrick, watch the party die. That's where those people are at. They saying, let's watch the party die.
And a lot of people have experienced that with other family members and have even been in the system themselves and have decided, hey, I've been through the system, I know how it is, and I would hate for to have any other person go through something like that, which leads to number 8, respecting trauma. Childhood trauma can make parenting daunting to some people, and healing should take precedence. So, like I said earlier, you have people that have been through the system. You have people that have experienced different traumatic things in life that, to where they say, hey, I don't want a kid right now, or I may never want a kid. You know what I mean? And that could possibly change later on. But you have to respect that person's trauma, because not everyone has the same story. Everyone has a unique background.
Very true. And not everybody has, well, I have this thing for myself where I say, it's a mantra that I have for myself. Look at all just be open and be willing. Listen to all that truth, no matter how brutal the facts. Take it in, make the changes. And that's something I'll be repeating to myself at least 5 times a day, because your children show you who you are. Your children will, you say, Mama, you fucked up. And I say, oh shit, I didn't mean to lie to you. I'm sorry.
In so many words, right?
Right. Sometimes you just gotta realize, damn, you really messing up. And you gotta come to that conclusion, no matter how brutal the damn facts be. Everybody don't have that. It's not to, and that's what it takes to face trauma. It takes that very same grit to face trauma and to decide, I'm not gonna let this rule my life anymore. I'm gonna heal from it. This ain't gonna be me. This is not gonna be, I'm not gonna live this life no more. I don't have to.
And part of that healing could be like number 9 that we're about to go into, better parenting alternatives. Childless people can mentor or support children in other ways. So just because someone doesn't necessarily want to have a child doesn't mean that they don't like being around kids or not wanting to have an impact in young people's lives. And like me, I just said I don't like children like that. I mean, I don't mind having an impact on youth lives in the sense of being a mentor or just leading by example. And that's how a lot of people that don't have children, they can still have an impact in a child's life or in a youth's life without necessarily having the responsibility of having a child 24/7. And you shouldn't down that person or disrespect that person by saying, oh, you don't have any kids. What do you know about trying to mentor somebody or trying to make an impact in this kid's life? You don't even have a child for yourself, so how can you do that? Bottom line is, you don't, like I said earlier, you don't know what that person's been through. You don't know the trauma that they've had. You don't know the healing process that they're going through, because it could be relatable for another person who's probably going through the same thing. You know what I mean? Who needs that person to say, hey, I've overcome this, I've been through the same thing you've been through to some degree, and I've overcame it, I've triumphed, and although I don't have kids myself, I'm just here to show you that there is light on the other side of the tunnel. You know what I mean? So it's always a good thing to respect that person that is taking time out from their busy schedule and having the resources, because they don't have kids, to have an impact on youth. So that's admirable field to go into, mentorship. Did you have anything to add?
No.
Okay, well,
What's the next
number
one?
10, finally, the last one is challenging social norms. Challenging social norms. Normalizing childlessness empowers others to live authentically. You want to say anything
I
about
will
that?
say The reason I agree with it, because it's a two-part for me. I agree with it in a way where it's a good thing, but I also agree it can be a bad thing. Because you don't always have to birth out the kid and all that. But I'm thinking about the foster children that can have a home rather than the family who's saying, okay, I don't want to necessarily have a child. But let me go be a mentor. Let me go learn. Let me go take some parenting classes. Let me go understand. Let me go face this trauma, whatever it may be, to kind of just really understand. Hold on, go back, baby. Really understand the childless, why, their issue with being wanting to remain childless. And if they still say after that, you know what, this is right, this is for me, I do not want children, then it's okay. I'm completely in agreement on that note. But then I'm talking about the ones who ultimately end up saying, I do want children, but because they haven't took the steps to learn how to be a parent, because it's being normalized, childlessness itself is being normalized, which means parent classes are going to take a dive, because if it's being normalized, a lot of people aren't going to want to take them. So therefore, it sets its back of big ways. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about, where mama and daddy can't be wrong, their way is the only way. And in my experience with a lot of my family, you got some questionable shit happening that's making you question family, like, should these things be happening? But because people didn't learn how to be a parent, they didn't learn how to properly protect their children, they didn't learn these things, then there's more trauma. I just see more trauma coming out of that. So it's a double-edged sword. I see the positive and I see the negative. So that's pretty much what it is for me.
Yeah, so normalizing childlessness, I don't necessarily agree with that either, because bottom line is, you have children in the world. People aren't going to stop having children. You can't normalize childlessness. I mean, it's something that should be respected. At the same time, we as people, we as sentient beings, we procreate. That's what we do naturally. The person that may not want a child may want a child later. You never know. So, but I would normalize respect, mutual respect amongst those who do not want children.
Right, courteousness.
And yeah, courteousness, and also, like we said in the last segment, or in the last thing, basically, you have those that will want to mentor. You have those that want to still have impact in children's lives, but not necessarily want children. So to normalize a childless society, childlessness, period, is just, that's a bit of a stretch. But even yet and still, those who don't want children, respect their wishes, respect their boundaries, don't press the issue. And who knows, that may very well change when they meet the person that they want to be with. And sometimes they'll meet the person who agrees with them and don't want to have children. So yeah,
I think we're getting a little bit towards our time limit. We kind of take it down for y'all and for ourselves too, because it'd be on our ass. Okay, so we just gonna get through this real quick and not be too long-winded.
Yeah.
3 strategies to shift the narrative. 1, educate society, promote understanding of diverse life paths. One way ain't the only way. There's many ways to get to one destination, and we need to highlight that. Just as there's many ways to make a cake, you can make a cake just as strong with Bulgarian yogurt as you do with eggs, or as you do with non-eggs. And it's just depending on how you structure in the cake and what you're utilizing to put structure in the cake so that the cake can actually be a cake. So then...
The cake is you, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I cook a lot. Highlight contributions. Share stories of childless individuals' achievements. Because some people just, honestly, some people's not built for... I'm telling y'all. the amount of little time, whether it's trying to get a quickie in, because the kids be on our ass, and then we got to get a quickie in real quick, bam, bing, boom, make it happen. And then from homeschooling to all things else, cooking, and I prep. So, I'm not pressed all the time. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. And then becoming a family with it, then the dynamic of marriage involved. So you got the marriage and you got the kids. And that's from the man's perspective and the woman's perspective. Or if you same-sex marriage, from both of your perspectives as well. Or one of the polygamous couples with 3 or 4 y'all. Shit, they're really getting real. You feel me? So it comes down to, period, respect and choices. Avoid intrusive questions and judgments about parenthood. We got to understand that parenthood is not a monolith. Yeah, there are some, maybe it's kind of like the horoscope. You got some main things that they have in common, but it's little small things in between that makes individuals. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Does that make sense?
It does. And then going back to highlight contributions, sharing stories of childless individuals, achievements. Bottom line is, you have people that their greatest achievements in life is having children. And then you have others that have other stories that are just as impactful as the person that had 1 million kids. You know what I mean, in life. So you just gotta be open-minded and know that everybody has a fair chance at life, whether they do everything that society wants them to do or if they decide to step out the norm, what they consider the norm. And respect the choices. Just respect them.
Let's close it on up, Daddy. Conclusions.
Key takeaway is parenthood isn't the only path to fulfillment.
Hello.
And our call to action for this video is to celebrate diverse life choices without judgment. Plain and simple.
Don't be no judgy ass. Don't be that type of person. I can't stand them type of motherfucking people. Don't be them type of people. Yeah. Just be cool. Be cool. Be easy. And say, I hear you. They can hear your perspective. You hear theirs. And saying, okay, I get you. I see that. And although it's not for me, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? Be that way. Don't be that, it's gotta be this way because of this way. Fuck that.
Nobody likes a tight ass, all right? So we're just gonna go ahead and end it on that. This has been Steven&Chaddy. Another banger for y'all. Make sure that you guys like this video, comment, let us know how you feel about it.
Talk to us.
Subscribe and share.
All right. Peace.
Peace out.
Chicken grease. No.